Abby and I had a really interesting experience last night, and it has to deal with Jonah, so I figured I'd share it on here. Well, last night after dinner, Abby and I decided to go spend some time on the pier, where we used to go all the time before we got married. And as we were walking out, we saw a woman, and she was with her dog, and they were fishing. And as we passed by, she noticed that Abby was pregnant, so she sparked up a conversation about it, asking all the questions. Is it our first baby? Is it a boy or a girl? When's it due? All that kind of stuff. And she was so excited as she was talking to us about it. She just kept saying, how blessed we were and how excited she was about it and how happy she was about it. And it seemed a little bit weird at first because it was the first time we'd ever met this woman, and she was a total stranger, and she seemed, almost overly excited about it. But then we realized that she was just being genuinely sweet, and she was just being genuinely interested in us and what we were going through, and it meant a lot. It was just really sweet to see that. But so we exchanged small talk for a bit, and then ended up going our separate ways. She left the pier, and Abby and I decided to go just chill on the bench for a little bit. And about 20 minutes later, I guess, she pulls back up in her car, and she gets out, and we see that she has some stuff in her hands, and she keeps walking towards us out on the pier. And as she approached us, very humbly, she said, I don't mean to bother you, but the conversation that we had, it made an impression on me, and I just really wanted to do something nice for you and your baby. And she ended up giving us this outfit for Jonah. And yeah, there it is, got milk with a matching bib and everything. This outfit, she gave us a bookmark, she gave us a magnet, and also a piece of paper that had a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, I believe it was, with a quote about God entering humanity as a baby, and just what that means and what's all wrapped up in that. And it was I mean, needless to say, Abby and I were completely shocked in a good way that this total stranger would do something so nice and so generous like that. And so we kept talking for a little while, and eventually she went back to sitting with her dog out on the pier, and we eventually left. And as we were driving on our way home, we started talking about it and just what that meant, and it made such a huge impression on us. What we were talking about was how we felt like what we saw in that action of that lady was just a tiny glimpse of what Jesus was talking about as he was giving the example of the Lord's Prayer, and when he prayed, God, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and how he was trying to get his disciples to live out the kingdom of God here on earth as it is in heaven. And we felt like what that lady showed in that one small, simple act of kindness and generosity was a small picture of the kingdom of heaven being lived out on earth. And it made a huge impression on me. Just that woman, out of her, the kindness of her heart, the generosity of her heart, and most likely out of her passion for God and wanting to show Christ to other people, would do something like that for a total stranger, would give a gift to somebody she just met for the first time. And it really made an impression on us, seeing somebody live out the gospel, seeing somebody live out the kingdom of God, and how they relate to other people was an incredible thing to see. And it made a huge impression on me in the way that I want to live out my faith, the way that I want to live out my walk with Christ. And I just wanted to share that with everybody. It meant a lot to us. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and hopefully we'll be back on here soon with some more updates.